2 months away. Joining us this morning, Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn and Congressman Gregory Meeks. Good to see both of you this morning. Congresswoman, I'm wondering what you think he may say on Monday, and if it could represent any kind of turn in the kinds of policies he's put forward over the past couple years.
What we would love to hear him say is that he is going to extend the 01 and 03 tax cuts for everyone. That is not what I anticipate that we will hear. Our expectation is that he's going to try to draw the line and not extend them for those families and small businesses that are over $250,000.
Congressman, is any possibility? We keep having this debate about whether a compromise is even possible.
Well, I think that the leader of the Republican Party said that he would agree that the focus of if we have the $250,000 and under, those tax cuts should stay.
Yeah, we've also had Democrats say the converse of that they think that they should be extended for all.
No, I think that when we look at who's going to pay for it. I mean, I hear my Republican colleagues also talk about deficits all the time. You know, that tax cut, when it took place, took us further in debt, $3.7 trillion. So when we talk about who's going to pay for it and how we're going deeper in deficits, well, I think that then they should come to us and tell us how we're going to pay for the tax cut, given the fiscal crisis that we're in.
When did Democrats, Congressman, when did Democrats become such deficit hawks? Because they've been spending pretty liberally for the past 18 months. But all of a sudden now it's all about the deficit.
But guess what? Democrats and the Democratic President, Bill Clinton, we had a surplus. Democrats were concerned about the budget for a long period of time. We had the greatest economic...
Here, let me give you a fact.
Greatest economic of times under Democratic president. Now,
let me give you a fact to use.
Republicans put us in deficit spending. We lost the surplus and went to deficits.
Well, let me give you a fact.
Under George Bush.
When the Democrats took control, when they took the gavels, they won in 06, and they took control, we had 4.6% unemployment. We had a $296 billion deficit that year, which for me was way too much, and we had an $8.5 trillion debt. Now look at what they have done. We have unemployment that is nearly 10%. We have a deficit for this year that is going to be about $1.5 trillion, and our national debt is pushing $14 trillion. That is what they have done. The focus has been on spending. Well, Greg, now let me tell you something. I'm one of those that always says Republicans spent too much and Democrats spent too much.
Let me ask you a question.
But the American people want to see this resolved.
Who was control of the House and the Senate? Who was the President of the United States when, in fact, we had the greatest financial crisis since the Great Depression? Who was that? Who put the first $750 billion to bail out the financial institutions?
Who refused to do oversight for Fannie and Freddie? Gregory, the people do not want to see the argument or hear it. They want the problem solved.
So you're telling me what you want to do is
spend less. The problem is leave money with the individuals that make the money. The problem is that you have got to cut what the federal government spends and free up the environment so that people create jobs. As simple as that.
Is your solution to go back to the Bush economic policies? Do you think that's the right thing to do?
My solution
is to go back to the Bush economic policies.
They were a hell of a lot better than what we have now.
Let me tell you what the solution is.
The Bush economic policies
The solution is to cut what the federal government spends. The solution is to reduce regulation.
How did we get into this problem?
The solution is to make
How did we get into this problem?
You go back and you look at the bureaucracy that was built over 40 years.
Did the bureaucracy get into this problem?
And the bureaucracy is too big. The federal government spends too much.
Let me ask.
I want a simple answer. How did we get into this problem? Did Barack Obama create this problem? How did we get into it? If your fiscal policies are right, then we should never have been in this problem. How did we get into it? President Obama only been here for 2 years. We were losing 800,000 jobs a month under the Bush administration. I want to know, how did we get here? If, based upon what I'm hearing here, if the Bush policies were right, we would have never been in this problem in the first place.
It's amazing how quickly 4 minutes will go by, because we're out of time. But before we go, I wonder, do Congress people ever go back after they're on television, watch the segment, and realize that they really just spun their wheels?
Well, no, all I can say is, I know John F. Kennedy used to say that if a free society can't take care of the many who are poor, then it sure can't save the few who are rich.
There are some things that we can and should do. Tax cuts should be extended for everybody. We should reduce regulation. We should cut what the federal government spends. People want the problem addressed. They want it solved. We have entrepreneurs and small businesses that are ready to hire. They want to get this health care bill off the books. They want to get this financial regulatory reform bill off the books. They want us to focus on creating an environment where jobs growth can take place in the United States of America.
George Bush brought us.
We listen to your comments. You should listen to hers.
We're going to continue to try to have these conversations, even though they're sometimes difficult. Congressman Meeks,
Thank you very
Congresswoman
much.
Blackburn, thank you very much for